Now, Fred, we had a clinic the other day, which we're going to try to put up, that I put on, and you were gracious enough to attend, and a few others. And no, we love some of the things we learned. But there's a point we touched on. We're going to put up some things about like the early hand-built, and you know, we kind of like to strive after those things. But you made a point, which I agree with, that some of the greatest models that will probably ever be produced are being made right now. Could you expound on that just a little bit?
You know, I love the hand builds because the hand builds were built by artisans.
Right.
And I knew some of these artisans. Sofui is a great example. And he built models for me.
Right.
But he would make every single part by himself. And that's an art form.
Absolutely.
But when we get in today's age with the brass that we build, even some of the plastic and the hybrids and the die cast, we couldn't do that in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. And it's because of you know, all this technology that we have at hand now. The finest models are being made today.
Right.
And they're inexpensive. They're easy to get into the hobby. I mean, you can have the Comet. You can have some of the craziest trains you've ever thought of. They're being made today because, you know, industrialization has caused that we can do that.
Right.
Collectability, you know, this is an art form. This is something that is created by people that buy this have a passion for it. So, you know, they want to have, maybe someone wants the whole fleet of modernism for the Pennsylvania, or they want the new Haven Comet, or they want, you know, the 20th century, but it's something that they remember as a kid, or something that as a younger person comes in that they've read about. It's all about romance. This is what this hobby is really about. It's the romance of the rail.
Yeah. That's one of the things I love about brass, because you bring out the technology. It's changed and it's absolutely improved these models. But yet we still have that craftsmanship, that artisan. You know, a lot of technology is just eroding. You know, CGI is eroded. We were talking about some of the Imagineers and their amazing abilities, and that's been eroded for my generation with the CGI. But the brass has always held kind of the best of both worlds. We work the technology to make it better, but it's still a craft.
Well, you know, we talk about the hand builds. Those are the Renoirs and the Rembrandts.
Right.
You know, that's what those hand builds represent. That's where it all started, where it all began. But then, like you say, we've got into a modernization now. And I just, boy, you know, Dan, it's all about presentation. It's the image, it's the romance, it's what makes you feel good.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Right.
What makes us feel good.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Tell us just briefly about a few of your new projects that are coming out. The cab forwards, can you tell us a little bit about what's going into that?
Well, that's an interesting project. I don't do many steam engines. This is probably our 5th steam engine that we've done. And I've only done one diesel project. Mainly we stay with the passenger trains themselves. But this is just one of those missing links, so to speak. Anyone that models the N&W as an example, the Norfolk and Western, you know, they had the Y series, but no importer's ever done the Y1. This is the keystone engine of that railroad.
Right.
This started up through the Ys. And I found out that Baldwin, they did a catalog engine, and Southern Pacific, Union Pacific, N&W, there were actually L&N, quite a few railroads ordered this catalog engine.
Right.
And I thought, why not build that engine? It's something unique. Well, I've been working on that project now 9 years.
Right. Wow.
Only to get it right, to get the information. This engine was built in 1909.
Okay.
But it actually ran on the railroads up till 1953. So it has a great story to tell about the longevity of an engine like that. They rebuild it because it proved to be very efficient. It was a very efficient locomotive for the railroads that bought them.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the romance to me, is to create this in model form.
Right.
And that's one of the models that in this year we'll finally see and bring it to fruition.
Yeah. When do you expect that to be?
That'll be in December of this year.
December. Great.
Yeah.
And
2015.
to our customers, I think this one honestly has slipped under the radar a little bit. We put out a few campaigns, but like you say, the N&W guys, when's the last time? They've never had an opportunity like this.
Yeah.
So I can tell you from personal feeling, it's going to be one of those they better pick up, because once it's sold out, they're going to be paying a fortune to get it on the second market.
And all you Oregon navigation fans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's great.
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, as far as display, you know, because I've seen your models a few times displayed properly. You got any thoughts on that? I mean, I can tell you, what's it feel like to see one of them big passenger trains displayed properly in somebody's case?
You know, because I enjoy this business so much, and I do a lot of traveling, I go to a lot of layouts and visit with people, but I'll tell you a neat story about one individual that lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I was going there for another business trip, and this customer happened to find out that I was coming to his town, and he invited me to come to his home. And I was kind of surprised that he wanted me to come to his home, but let me tell you, the biggest smile he had on his face when he opened up the cabinet door in his layout room, which is beautiful, and all my Santa Fe trains were on his layout. But you know, he was just proud to say, I own every Santa Fe piece that you've ever made. And he opened up this cabinet door, and there they were. I mean, it made me smile.
Yeah,
absolutely. That this man had the same passion that I had.
Right.
And so that was, you know, this is why I do what I do.
Right.
It's for the people like that have that passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have it too.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm a train junkie.
Yeah. Hey, we appreciate that. Absolutely. I've been fortunate enough to see some of the folks at display, and that is one thing I will say about the coach yard is, you know, your customers, which sometimes are our customers, because you let us sell these things.
That's right.
But they are very passionate about, I mean, they will pick up everything, and nothing else quite holds to that level for them. You know, they really are aficionados of your product.
And this is what drives Dave and I, is that passion that they have for our product.
Right.
We continue to make it better. I know, just a sideline, the last 3 years, a lot of importers have been coming out with passenger trains with lights in them.
Right.
And I personally, I'd like to light my cars, but I didn't like the way they were doing it.
Right.
And it's taken us 3 years to find the right kind of bulb where I can put the sconces on the side of the car, and I can light the sconces, I can light the table lamps. This is what I want to do.
Right.
Now that, to make it look real. Now, I just want a Tyco light in the car that glows.
Yeah, I have some
like
of those glow-in-the-dark Tyco cars. They have that 80s
hey,
nostalgia, but they don't bring us back.
Silhouette.
Yeah,
Come
no,
on.
they don't bring us
We've
back.
all had the Mantua cars with the silhouette.
Yes, absolutely. But no, seriously, I'm pretty excited when you explain this, and it's going to happen, right? This is actually going to happen.
No, we just came back from Korea.
Okay.
And we went over there to show them exactly how we want it done.
Right.
And this, again, I know Dave and I are kind of crazy about this, but it's got to be our way or no way.
Right. Yeah, we want to get Dave here. He wasn't able to make the show. I know you guys just came from Korea,
right.
Had to come all the way to the show.
Yeah.
You were up 36 hours or something yesterday. We managed to get him to come out to eat with us, and we thank you for
again.
that.
Yeah,
but no, it was a great time. But yeah, that you said which cars were that lighting going to start with?
Okay, that is going to be in the train, the Treasure Island Special
Beautiful.
and the Orange Blossom Special.
Beautiful.
Were the first one.
Two beautiful
In fact, we
trains.
went over there with the Grand Canyon. We stopped production on that,
Right.
hoping that they could integrate that into the Grand Canyon.
Right.
But it was just too late.
Yeah,
it's
engineering
designing and engineering. Yeah.
So that's something for us to look forward to in the
Right.
future, and I know the customers are going to respond to that.
Yeah.
A big way, and you're going to raise the bar for everybody else, which we appreciate, because now you're going to redo what everybody thinks about passenger car
my
lighting.
competitors may not like it, but you know, I actually
We
share,
like it.
I share the technology with all my competitors.
Right.
I don't have competition. I have friends.
Right.
You know, every one of the importers, if they need anything, I'm happy to help
Right.
them out. And we do it. Dave and I have always been doing that with any of our so-called competitors, because they're all
Right.
no competitors.
But
You know,
no, we appreciate that, Fred.
they have
We've
the
seen
same
that.
passion I have.
Yeah, absolutely. And ultimately, who wins is the people that buy brass model trains.
That's who it's all about.
Yep.
It's not you and me.
Right.
It's the guys that are at this show.
Yep.
That's what I do it for.
Right.
I don't do it for me.
And sometimes, like you say, I don't think they know how much they win just yet.
Oh.
I don't think they understand what these are going to be one day. Like you say, that detail that's worked in there that we don't even know about, how accurate they are, how much goes into making them. I said that again in my clinic too. It feels strange to call this a bargain. I grew up poor and would never have spent this kind of money, but when you see what goes into it, boy, there's a lot there that they're getting, and so I think time will prove that.
There is, and again, as I've said, this is art. This is really
Yes.
creating something out of pieces of metal that is, again, it has passion in it. Every one of the importers has got passion in their models, and I think that the consumer that buys this understands that. I
Yeah.
really think they understand
Yeah,
that.
I think they do.
Yeah.
I think they do. You got any? I was going to ask you what is your rock star moment? A time where you're like, I love what I do. Do you have one that you can share,
You know,
or is it constant?
It's constant, and you know, I gotta say, every time I come to a show, I love what I do.
Yeah.
Now, I love it because a customer comes up and says, God, I gotta have that. I gotta have that project, or I bought that project, you know, from Brass Trains or whoever
Yeah.
they bought it from. But, you know, they have that passion, or they want it. I mean, here at the show, I had 2 or 3 people come up and says, geez, I wish I could afford that. I said, you can
Yeah.
afford it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just do it.
Right.
It's all priorities.
Yeah.
And sometimes it changes. They will go out and buy it.
Right.
So, you know, that rock star moment, you know, boy, it's all the time.
Yeah.
It's all the time.
Can't complain about that.
No,
then.
I can't. I can't believe we started this business in 1984 and we're still doing it and still have the same attitude.
Yeah.
We love it.
Well,
We love doing it.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks, Fred.
All
I
right.
appreciate all you've done for us in the industry, and thanks for taking a little time. I know a lot of our customers and your customers are really going to
Well,
enjoy this little video.
they're not even our customers. They're our friends.
Our friends.
They
There you
are
go,
our
even
friends.
better.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right.
Thanks
Danny.
again.
You bet.